What's up, everybody? ArrgThePirate here, and today we're going to play a little Hercules in that support role. Now, I'm still trying to find where I like playing my warriors and how I like playing them, and I decided to give support a shot. Now, I'm going to start out with Warrior's Blessing, Glowing Emerald, 3 mana potions, 1 healing potion, and then I'm going to go for Shield of Regrowth, Warrior Tabby, Sovereignty, Pestilence, Stone of Gaia, Genji's Guard, Meditation Cloak, and, of course, Shield of Thorns. Now, I am really trying to build a super tank, you know, and Hercules is definitely one of them. We kind of changed a few things towards the end of the match because this match is very long, but we do pretty well. And first up, we have his passive. Every time Hercules takes damage from an enemy god, he gains a stacking buff that provides physical power. And you get 5 physical power plus 1 per level, and it stacks up to 3 times. Now, this is where I was thinking him being a super tank and playing in the support role will really pay off, because at max level, at 3 stacks, you'll have 75 extra power. And, you know, you're always going to be hit. So while you're fighting, you're pretty much always going to have 75 free power. And so we can really build into health and everything like that. And, you know, that's one reason Arrg is just so strong, guys. Hercules 1 is Driving Strike. Hercules delivers a mighty strike, driving all enemies back, damaging and stunning them. Hercules is immune to knockbacks during the dash, and then it does a ton of damage, but it stuns them at the end of the dash at max level for a second and a half, which is always huge. Then we have his 2 Earthbreaker. Hercules smashes the ground, sending a shockwave forward that does damage to all enemies in its path. Enemies at the end of the shockwave are thrown into the air towards Hercules. And this is what we just used right there, guys. And what you can really do is use your 2 and then walk to the other side of them, use your 1 and dash them even further away from where they wanted to be. This is an awesome combo, but guys, getting used to using this combo is pretty tough, I would say, because you have to plan on you getting that hit. You know, don't hit your 2 and then wait to see if you actually got them. Just hit your 2 and just assume that you got them and start walking to the other side of them. Mitigate Wounds is his 3. Hercules heals himself, instantly gaining increased magical and physical protections for the next 4 seconds. A percentage of the damage taken during this time is returned to him as additional heals at the end of the duration. And so, guys, you can pop this to get health back, or you can pop it when you're about to jump into a fight. I'm terrible with this self-buff stuff, guys. Y'all know that. And, you know, we do it a few times, but probably should have done it a lot better. And lastly, we have his 4. Hercules rips a huge boulder from the ground. Throwing the boulder does damage when the boulder lands, and then the boulder continues rolling, doing the same damage to all enemies in its path. If you hit an enemy more than once, they take 50% less damage per hit. Hercules is immune to crowd control while casting, and that's pretty big, guys. So if you know there's some hard CC coming up, you can use your 4 to immune out of that. Alright, now let's get into this gameplay. So far in this match, you know, it's been pretty standard stuff. A lot of poking back and forth. I think when a lot of people are faced with a warrior in the duo lane, it kind of throws them off because you don't see a whole lot of warriors there. And you can see we were able to peel for Hachiman there. And really, if you're facing a warrior and you put on some physical protection, it makes him much, much harder. And, you know, I would recommend looking at something like that. But we are able to keep just a ton of pressure up. And you can see here, I go ahead and throw that ult. We're able to take out Neath, no problem. You see that super delayed ult? Now, Hachi ends up dropping the fat man, and no. We're taking him out. I'm not letting you drop him and then him survive. So, sure enough, we're able to take a couple of tower hits, and we do manage to finish him off, which, awesome. Awesome. Hachi's getting fed. We've got 3 kills already. Just, you know, a few minutes into the match, starting off very, very strong. Now, I am picking up Shield of Regrowth before going into my boots. I want all that sustain, all that HP 5, MP 5. I want all of that while we're still very heavy in this laning phase. And, you know, that's why I picked him up early. Well, Hercules has some pretty good escape as well. So, you know, you don't have to worry about all too much. And we're being the aggressors here. You know, we've been very, very aggressive so far. And this has really allowed us to kind of, you know, keep them defensive, and I think movement speed, you know, I don't need it as much. Now I'm going to go in. If you see there, I go after Neith, and that kind of zones her out while we're able to go in on the Fat Man. And, you know, hey, that's awesome. We end up hitting him with that boulder. I don't know why he didn't get out. And Hatchieman follows him up and is able to take him out. Neith beads, but we take her out too. Awesome, awesome plays. You know, that's great. Hatchie's getting fed, guys. He's going to be a just terrible monster here in a minute. And that's exactly what we want. Now, for the next couple of minutes, you know, go secure your buffs, you know, that kind of thing. There's not just a whole lot of pushing that tower right now. You know, we're still early on in the match, you know, and we have to be careful. The spawn times are still very short. So, you know, we can wait to get that tower here in a minute. We're just kind of farming up and, you know, hey, easy peasy. Now, I'm tired of this Neith being here, so I'm just going to go in. Let's get that stun on her. Let's push her back. Hachi's going to be able to follow that up. She ends up stunning me there. We might have been able to get out. I could have used my cloak, something like that, but it doesn't matter. We're able to shut her down again, and that's going to free Hachi to, you know, continue to farm like crazy. Now, you definitely want to make sure when you're diving towers that you get the kill. You know, if you die and don't get the kill, it definitely wasn't worth it. But if you die and get the kill, you know, I mean, trading's never good. But as the support, if I do it and my ADC's getting that kill, I think we're okay. Now from here, I'm gonna head to mid, and you know, this Anubis, we should be able to take him. I throw my boulder, and then let's go ahead and charge in. He juked that, and then I'm gonna get my 2 on him, and then he juked that, and he didn't really juke it. It's me being awful. I know that, but I'm trying to remain positive, guys. Now, I'm gonna head back to my solo lane, or back to my duo lane. I'm solo, you know. I'm gonna head back to my duo lane. Hachiman was pretty low and had to back, so we need to make sure that this lane's not going to free push. And one thing about warriors, when you play a warrior in that support role, guys, you can clear lanes very, very quickly. If you see there, we cleared that. There's not a whole lot of guardians that's going to be able to clear that as well as I did right there. So you have to be careful when, you know, if your ADC's stacking or really just getting farm. You know, the late game for the ADCs is all about how well they did in the early game. And you can see there, I stacked those up, got some damage on them, but I'm waiting for Hachi to show up. That way he can finish them off. We're going to go ahead and just take these minions. And you know, that's what it's all about. We want him to get farmed. We don't need to be farmed, guys. Especially since we're playing the support role. But really, you know, well, as Herc, once you get a couple of items on, you're going to hit like a truck. You're pretty tanky. You know, we don't need a whole lot of farm. Hachi does, though. Now, sure enough, we're able to push that tower down. This is our lane, baby. We get a little poke on Neith there, and then hey, it's Gold Fury time. Now, we do get some rotation from Zeus here, and I make a terrible play coming up. And, you know, this is pretty bad. So I see them kind of rotating over, and, you know, I get stunned right there. You know, they had a huge rotation there. And, you know, with Loki, with Anubis, that stun, there was nothing I was going to be able to do. I should have left with my team. You know, I was going, hey, I'm going to kind of check them out, see who's there, and maybe we can turn this into a fight. You know, Loki being there, you know, that was a bad play. Now, if you don't have vision on the enemy team like I didn't there, don't just go out there. You know, especially since we just took gold. They were looking to come pick off a weakling, and hey, guys, they did. You know, that I was pretty healthy, but against 3 people, I'm gonna die. Now we end up rotating to this Neith, and guys, I try to use my boulder here. Okay, you can't use your boulder directly facing a wall like I would have liked. I thought you could just smash against that wall, but you can't. We end up knocking that Loki back, and you know, he burned his ult there, which is great. And then Anubis shows up and just absolutely deletes that Bakasura. you know, I'm gonna head over that way. You know, Zeus is showing up here, so I'm thinking, hey, you know, we're all just gonna back off. No big deal. You know, we traded a couple of deaths there. It is what it is. But as long as we're not losing those engagements, we'll be fine. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and shove this lane. You know, Hachiman is slowly making his way over there, but I'm not gonna sit there and take all of that many minion hits. And hey, we want to really start rotating, start getting into those fights. You know, we're really out of we're in that sweet spot where they're kind of still in laning phase and we're not. So we can just keep that pressure up like crazy, guys. And that's what we want to do. Now I'm going to go into this T1, or this T2. I thought we were going to kind of collapse on that. Loki shows up. We're able to dash him off of Bakasura. I missed my ult. Now, Herc's ult does take a little bit, but there, Loki is under tower. Hachiman ends up getting some damage on him. I'm trying to follow up. We end up dashing. We're able to take him out. Awesome. Let's get this tower now. I'm taking tower hits, you know, but that's fine. Well, you know, I'm pretty healthy, guys, and we might be able to push into their Phoenix at this point. You know, it's going to be close. We're kind of just waiting around, seeing what's going on. Okay, let's go for it. But then I see the team kind of peels off here, and you know, let's get out. We did have some collapse. And you know, we just need to get out of this situation now. If we would have all went into that Phoenix, we would have taken it out. And since Baka went over and kind of died on his own, we need to back off. We need to get out. Artist here, she's doing her best to get out. I'm gonna run with her. You know, she's our solo. I'm the supporter, so I'm gonna run with her. Make sure she gets out. Both me and her have some pretty decent escape, and we should be able to get out of this no problem. Let's just make sure that happens. And, you know, just 10 seconds of hanging out with her, we're able to both get back safely. You know, she could have done it by herself, but it's always nice to have someone hold your hand. Now, coming up is a perfect example of what I've talked about 1,000 times, is getting off of the Gold Fury when people show up. Unless you have just insane burst damage, you know, you've got someone like Isis that can put down her ult and make sure to secure it, or Zeus or somebody. You know, you need that burst. If you don't have that burst, you need to get off of the Gold Fury. And if you see there, I'm going to go in on these guys. I'm trying my best. I use my ult on Gold Fury. You know, you have to get off of that Gold Fury, because if you don't, you're going to give it right to them. Luckily, my team does collapse. I do everything I can to survive there, except use my 3. Now, we ended up losing this fight pretty bad. You know, we end up losing 4 people here, guys, and that's significant. That's very significant. You know, this was a big turn point. We got 2 of them, but check this out. Bakasura, he's a madman. Anubis, you're gone. You're gone. And then Loki, why are you running this way? You're gone too. Oh, man. So he ended up evening up this fight. You know, it was a 4v4 trade. But still, you know, the jungler survived. So, you know, or I guess Nemesis is solo. I'm not sure. But, you know, this fight, we lost Gold Fury during it, and we don't have that burst. You really have to quit damaging it. You know, I'm not saying we might have been able to secure that Gold Fury, but we might have been able to take down Anubis while he was focused on Gold Fury. You know, something like that. And honestly, if you pick up Gold Fury and instantly die, or your team instantly dies, I think that's worth sacrificing Gold Fury for. If you lose Gold Fury and then lose 4 of your teammates, it wasn't worth it. That fight was well worth the enemy team going in there and, you know, basically stealing Gold Fury from us. But if we would have just focused onto Anubis, he would have either changed his beam off of Gold Fury and onto us, which, you know, that would have been good. And the Kubo could not have taken Gold Fury. So really, guys, I think it's absolutely important to focus on the enemies as soon as they show up. You know, just like Fangtooth, just like Orb Prime, you know, focus on the enemies, not the objective. Now, we just picked up Pyromancer, and the enemy team is kind of collapsing on us, and you can see here we're doing a little ring around the rosy. I'm kind of going, hey, maybe we can go in on fire, and you see the enemy team is showing up. Get off of fire, guys. Don't sit there and burn it down, because the enemy team's just going to come in there and steal it, just like they did Gold Fury. Hopefully we learned our lesson, and it looks like we did. But you can see the enemy team's kind of split up right now. So this should make it better for us to actually go in on somebody. Sure enough, we're able to take out that Neath. You know, and then there's Anubis. Guys, Anubis hurts. I was standing in that beam. I don't know what I was thinking. I was standing in his beam, you know, hopefully, you know, trying to get him to focus me. But holy moly. Well, we did quite a bit of damage to him, but still... You know, this team fight ended up very, very even on our side, except our ADC lived and, you know, the two solos lived, but our ADC lived and their support lived. So, you know, our ADC is continuing that farm. Me standing in an Anubis beam is just ridiculous, but, you know, is what it is. Now, the next few minutes are pretty standard stuff. Once I spawn back in, we're going to head down mid lane, and we kind of try to get some poke on Nemesis. We just didn't quite have enough, and you see we're able to dash her out, and we throw that boulder, but, you know, she's so fast. We are starting to head over to our duo lane, and then I see Loki go in on Zeus, so we got to head into that, and, you know, they were able to distract us long enough for Neath to take down our tower. We then head over to our duo lane to protect our T2, and we have some collapse. My team is collapsing. You can see everybody's here. Let's make something happen, guys. And we're kind of waiting around under this tower, you know, waiting for the right time to go in. We miss everything. We get this stun, and we're goners, guys. Look at the damage from Anubis. You know, that was an awesome play. That was what we were needing to do. We were needing someone to go and engage in on that fight, but we're under their tower. So, you know, we can either make it happen under their tower or get out. And you see from there, we're gonna end up. They get a team wipe, guys. This is bad. This is very, very bad, especially at this point in the game. You know, you can see we were dominating the tower game, but now we're making these bad decisions. That's, you know, really going to affect the outcome. Now, I am not exactly sure why, but the enemy team, you know, Neath was down, but the enemy team, they didn't really do a whole lot objective-wise. You know, and I'm not exactly sure why that was. You know, that would have been a great opportunity to take a tower down. You know, they could have even had one person push a tower, but, you know, no one really did. And, you know, they missed a great opportunity to really make something happen there. And, you know, hey, I'm okay with it. but that they should have coordinated a little bit better. They could have stayed in that same lane, you know, stayed in that dual lane, pushed it all the way. They might not have been able to get the Phoenix, but they could have definitely taken a T2 or at least got the mid lane tower. You know, they did pick up Fire Giant or Gold Fury, but really, you know, they should have gone for Fire Giant over Gold Fury. You know, that was just a little bit of bad coordination on their team, and you know, they missed a golden opportunity, which, you know, again, that's good for us. Now, when you get a team wipe or something like that, guys, that's when you want to prioritize those big targets. Take out some towers, take out Fire Giant. You know, Gold Fury is big too, but late stages of the game where the spawn timers are, you know, a minute, that's when you want to take out some big targets. Now, we get into this nasty team fight. We combo ults like crazy. I charged Nemesis because I didn't want to risk her dashing away, and sure enough, we're able to take her out. Kuba is here. You know, let's go in on Kuba, and, you know, we end up popping him back. Hopefully, we'll be able to take him out. You know, we're keeping up this damage, guys. He ends up getting that stun on most of our team, which is unfortunate, but hey, no problem. Let's take this T1 out, or T2 out. Then I see, hey, he's down. Let's go ahead and take him out real quick. Sure enough, you know, that's awesome. We're able to take down that T2, and then now is Fire Giant time. We've got 4 of them down. Loki is still up, so we need to be aware of Loki. You know, he can't come in and, you know, invis in and hit it for a ton of damage all at once. But, you know, as long as we can keep an eye out on everything, we should be able to get Fire Giant easy peasy. Now, sure enough, we're able to take out Fire Giant easy peasy. You know, that Fire Giant doesn't stand a chance. And then my team backs, I'm going to go ahead and go in on Oracles. You know, maybe I can take out Oracles, and then I see they're pushing mid. You know, I'm not trying to protect this tower. I just want to go in. Let's kill somebody. Me and Bakasura show up. You know, Neith is here. I missed that ult by 100 miles. You know, she went against that wall really strangely. You know, I was trying to throw it where she was going to be. It was odd. But, you know, I'm here tanking this in, and my team is all kind of split up. You see that Zeus didn't show up from base till, like, you know, what, 30 seconds. Our Art was in the solo lane getting that set. Our Bakasura, you know, he had to get out of that fight because he almost died. You know, it was a 4v staggered 2 fight, and we ended up going down. You know, that's just very unfortunate. Now, I go ahead and take that spawn timer out. My team managed to kill their support and their Anubis, which is, you know, hey, that's great. And I'm going to get into this fight here. You know, we go in on that Neith. She backs off, and we're here at this, at the solo lane, Phoenix. You know, with all of us here, I'm thinking we might be able to do something. I have no idea. My ult's being so weird. I don't know if you saw that. It just disappeared. I don't know what's going on with this ult, guys. It's like the 3rd time it's done at this match, but, you know, whatever. It might be the skin. It's just like an invisible ball rolling around. I'm not sure. I'm waiting for everybody to get out of this fight. You know, I want everybody to leave this fight. That way I can safely get out. You know, Art's very low here. She's going to end up going down. You know, we needed to get out of that fight. You can see I'm trying to backpedal. You know, we should have got out of that. You know, and Art's trying to go in on that back lane, but she's taking tons and tons of damage doing that. And without having our team there, you know, right now we're making some very, very poor choices, and it feels bad. Now, once we spawn back in, we're kind of doing the same thing, and if you see here, their team is playing very, very passive, which is winning them these team fights. You know, they're ahead by 5 kills, but we're going to get a free Fire Giant here, and it's simply because, you know, they just completely backed off there, and, you know, hey, we're going to end up going in on this Nemesis. We get that. We end up using our ult for no reason at all. We could have got that kill. We could have secured that without that ultimate. But, you know, as long as we're making sure we're killing people, that's what really matters. And we have Gold Fury, or we have the Fire Giant buff. I keep mixing them up, guys. But we've got that. We might be able to make something happen. You can see they're all stacking up under their tower again. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult, but let's focus Anubis. Sure enough, I'm able to grab him, force him out. Doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't stand a chance, baby. This is it. This is it. We can push this advantage now. You know, we're unlike them. We're not scared of just going under tower like we were before. Now, Kuba's ult wins my 1 dash. And there's certain things like that you have to like consider, like a tier dash versus a Herc dash. I believe Herc wins that fight. You know, it's just things you need to know. Now, you know, I'm trying to zone Kuba out. You know, if we kill him, great. If we don't, who cares? Let's get the Titan. You know, I'm taking tons of damage. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out. You know, I tried to dash them again, but Hachi ends up going down. I'm not going to stay in on this. If I stay in, I'm going to die. Art ended up getting it. Look, you can't even see her health. Oh, she saw... that was just lucky. You know, sure, we could have went back and domed the Titan and taken it out later, but, you know, oh, man. It's nice to finally wrap this match up. Well, that's going to wrap it up for that support Herc guide. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, show me some love. Leave me a comment. Think about subscribing. Add me on Smite, guys. I'd love to play with y'all. We also have our clan, Scurvy Dog Crew, TSDC, if you want some people to play with. Well, again, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.